It's all about the money. If you follow the money trail long enough, you always come to the conclusion that somebody is doing something simply for the bottom dollar. So this is some food for thought for you. If the U.S. comprises 5% of the world's population, and we consume 70% of the world's prescription pharmaceuticals, what does that tell you? The U.S. has lost more soldiers who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan to drug-related deaths. They're dying in their sleeps. Google it up. Soldier dies, ironically dies after returning home. It's because they're on these cocktails of drugs. They die in their sleep. Or they come home and they're given these antidepressants or antipsychotics for PTSD, and then they commit suicide as a side effect of the drug. Also, drugging is a social control mechanism for unruly children, for prisoners, for residential treatment facility patients, and for nursing home patients. It's just a good way to warehouse people and keep them quiet, folks. And then, again, U.S. and New Zealand, the only two countries on the planet that allow direct-to-consumer advertising. The international medical community is appalled at the way we drug our children. I talk to psychiatrists on a weekly basis all over the world, and they are just disgusted with us. And you need to be aware of that, because the world is looking at us, and history will look back on us, and we will be shamed because of it. Just like there was a cultural change around smoking, remember we had a paradigm shift? When I started in the pharmaceutical industry, I used to sometimes go into a doctor's office, and that was when he would take his cigarette break, was to see me. And he'd be sitting there puffing in his office while I was gagging and trying to, give my sales presentation. Well, it wasn't too long after all of the data came out about how secondhand smoke was harmful to people that it became socially unacceptable to smoke in public, did it not? We've outlawed it in buildings, we've outlawed it on planes, we've outlawed it in airports, we've outlawed it in very many locations because we know that it damages our health to smoke, and we don't want other people imposing their health risks on us. We need to have that paradigm shift about drugging our children, folks. It isn't acceptable to do it just because it's profitable for the manufacturers and they need expansion markets. I can tell you every single manufacturer I worked for drove home the point that our children were the biggest expansion market available, bar none, and the most profitable. Because once you get a child on a drug, especially a psychiatric drug, they're a lifelong customer.